Rivers emergency. Those criticizing Tinubu must think the constitution is dumb or an ass. Femi Orebe. Welcome to Sinok Media. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also put on your notification button to receive notifications once we drop our update. This writer don extray this emergency declaration wey Tinubu do. Come dey talk say people wey dey criticize Tinubu, maybe they dey think say the constitution dey dumb. He say the law, dem make am for human beings. Dem no make human beings for law. That even that statement, Jesus talk am too for Bible when he dey emphasize say the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. Na so law be. Then if na so law be, then why they dey vex now say government make law for Rivers State to control Rivers State because Supreme Court don already talk say for their ruling that Rivers State not get government. So government now don make law say make sole administrator sit down for there since Supreme Court say they not get any government. Why people now they talk for everywhere, both for television, for radio, TV lawyers, social media critics, everybody now they complain, say it is unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. You know, the man they worry. They worry, say why? I mean, they not follow wetin Supreme Court talk. They not follow wetin the Constitution talk. When the president go fit announce, state of emergency. So if the president don't do wetin he's supposed to do, then why all this plenty talk when they talk every day? President do this, president do that, president not respect them, president not do all those ones. Make we listen to wetin the man talk. Isn't the concept that law is made for man and not man for the law a central theme in some interpretations of the Bible, especially in the context of the teachings of Jesus and the relationship between the law and humanity? Didn't Jesus emphasize that the Sabbath and by extension the law exists to serve humanity's well-being and should neither be a burden nor a legalistic control over them? Flowing from the above, shouldn't the declaration of a state of emergency, no matter where, be consequential? That is, be towards the good of the state? And indeed, isn't the raising the tar of the emergency declaration in Rivers State to bring peace to a state already declared by the Supreme Court as having no government, even as Governor Sir Amopusenibo Siminalai Fubara sat pretty in Government House? Why then, in the face of the above, the hula paloo by all manner of TV lawyers and some loud TV anchors? With due respect to the high and mighty, for some are truly distinguished, who had and in fact continue to flagellate the president for suspending Rivers State Governor Fubara and the State House of Assembly. One has actually called for his impeachment. I can consider my job done on the above topic after I would have quoted the opening portion of Sam Omashaye's last week column, which he captioned, "It is all noise." He wrote, "So they say the president could declare a state of emergency but leave the House members and the governor intact. What does that mean? it means rolling tanks and stamping jackboots on the streets of Port Harcourt. But the House members could go ahead and impeach Governor Sim Fubara. But wait, these are the same people that say the House members should not impeach him and that it would be an act of bad faith and a call to turmoil. What turmoil? Blowing up pipelines and blowing up houses, putting lives of political enemies and innocent civilians in peril. So the president should send Nuhu Ribadu and his team to look out for those who want to turn the state over to the devil. Meanwhile, those in office still retain the resources and capacity for turbulence. It's quite unfortunate that it is reason that is upside down. The state of emergency is to stave off violence. But what if the violence will remain a clear and present omen so long as those who would foment it are in their ferment because they have the power and pocket? Those who say this and call for constitutionalism were the same persons who prodded Fubara against the law, against the same constitution. He set up a four-man legislature. They were the same television lawyers and commentators who kept mum when he blew up a legislative monument by way of the House of Assembly building. How na they see wetin this man dey talk so? These same people. That is why, like I always make reference to that musician when he say, if you know say na so the world go be, if I come with two head, because if you do one, they go say you not do am well. If you do the other one, they go say you not do am well. See, these same people when they do say, oh, President Tinubu not supposed to do this thing. They did that too when Fubara they do what they do. Imagine, according to the writer, you set up a four-man legislature. What did the Constitution talk? Waiting the Constitution talk. You pass the budget with 4 men. Against the Constitution, you defy court order and organize local government election. The same persons against the Constitution are saying the Supreme Court erred by maintaining that Fubara defied the Constitution. If the top court ruled otherwise, then he would have acted like Obasanjo when he asked a Don cabal of about 6 men to impeach a governor. It was the same PDP that did it and hailed it at that time. Obi said nothing then. Atiku was in PDP then. They did not stand up to their guy. Hasn't Omashaye said it all, or can Fubara burn a common police station today and go scot-free? Yet, Constitution they bellowed, hardly letting us hear word. And they have their TV station where they congregate every morning. Lawyers, aspiring lawyers, not so brilliant public analysts, etc. spewing inanities, whilst the anchors pretend to permanently lecture the rest of us, eagerly showing off their erudition. So we ask, what is the essence of a constitution, if not to cohere the country and ensure peace and stability? Are all those who shout the primacy of the constitution, why correct, saying that President Tinubu should have slept off on duty, wait till the obdurate Fubara was impeached, as the House of Assembly was unerringly going to do, and see the entire River State, complete with oil wells and infrastructure, upon which the nation relies for sustenance, go up in flames? Is that really what they wanted the president to do? So the Obis and the Atikus of this world could gloat? Then they probably don't know Baba Ahmed Tinubu at all. It would have been funny, if not pathetic, that some otherwise respected individuals could be drawing a correlation between the emergency President Goodluck Jonathan declared in 1993 after a series of deadly attacks by Islamic militant groups asking that the military should take all necessary action to put an end to the impunity of insurgents and terrorists in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, and what the president just did. While in the case of those three northern states rested squarely on the menace of Boko Haram, which was fast uprooting elected governments and the concerned state governors who needed nothing but help. In Rivers State, the malady has gone past its politicians and was beginning to consume its elders, most of who enthusiastically misdirected the governor. I've said to myself that this is payback time for Rivers State, as the crisis has broken the umbilical cord which tied together those who, a few years back, turned Port Harcourt to the capital of judicial merchandising in Nigeria. Many of the victims of that era are still suffering the consequences of their unexpected losses in the courts, while those expected to lose went back home celebrating. When critics hold that the emergency is okay, but not the suspensions, what exactly are they saying? That the emergency declaration should be a mere formality, a damn squib? That Fubara and the House Speaker should have continued to hold court in their respective corner when oil pipelines are erupting in flames and human blood welling up in the creeks and everywhere on the streets of Rivers State, and they expect Tinubu to sit pretty in Aso Villa? No wonder some say the law is an ass, but not for this president. If the constitution will have to be stretched to its elastic limit, so be it, as long as the end in view is to save lives and property. What exactly would Governor Fubara have been doing on a daily basis when other people's husbands, wives, fathers, and mothers, that is, our already overstressed soldiers, are out there facing fire? Can we think for once? Of course, had there been chaos, TV anchors would have remained there in their elegant suits, telling us what Tinubu should have done, the exact same thing he did to save both lives and the Nigerian economy, but for which those who speak English better than the owners of the language are now recommending his impeachment. So who today are the insurgents and terrorists in Rivers State, other than the suspended institutions against whom Tinubu would declare action? Can it sleep easy if those institutions are still able to continue their obduracy and further ensure that the state was without an effective government? It is time some people come to appreciate what gargantuan destruction President Tinubu saved the country from: the sheer bloodletting in a region known to be prone to unrestrained bloodletting. Add to that the amount of oil infrastructure which could have been blown off by some retired local terrorists who were already braying for action, and then Governor Fubara, in one of his giddy moments, surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands, of Rivers youths, literally declared himself their commander of operations when he told them to go and await orders. What could he not have done if the president had waited for him to be impeached? In my view, if any federal organ of government deserves any blame, it is none other than our successive body of lazy legislators, for whom it has been impossible to see that the relevant portion of the Constitution is inchoate, needing an amendment. Finally, who had been the lead protagonist in the unremitting attack on the president? As usual, Atiku, Obi, and their joint godfather have, as usual, thought their attacks on Tinubu could bring back the presidential jewel they ignominiously lost in 2023, and so have never relented from their odious, childish practice of taking every opportunity to lampoon him to their heart's content. I won't blame most lawyers, especially those not showing off on television stations, seeing them more as strict constructionists of the Constitution. It is, however, surprising that many couldn't bring their knowledge of logic to bear on the matter. If the declaration itself constituted the premise, where then is the conclusion without which it will all amount to nothing, and the president would have merely been wasting his time? But if most lawyers acted uberima fide, certainly not so Alpha Mosigwe's son, the NBA president who emerged the Comrade Joe Ajero of the entire event, the way he coyly sought to call people, not just his fellow lawyers, but Nigerians, out on a mass rising. Here the Labour leader. All this inauspicious moment in our nation's trajectory, all people of goodwill and conscience should rise to oppose this audacious violation of our constitution and rape of our democracy. Mr. President must be made to know and understand in unmistakable terms that this illegality cannot stand. He then concluded by asking politicians across Nigeria to speak up and rise against the country's descent into totalitarianism. When you read that and note that the lead critics are the obese and the Patutomis, then you know that the thunderous shellacking of 2023 still rankles in some quarters. But sorry, we can't help them. My advice, therefore, would be that rather than this their sterile and unproductive preoccupation, they should simply join veteran Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as he again begins to put together his association of the aggrieved ahead of 2027. Wow, what a piece, what a column has written. How una see am? How una see wetin this oga write for us? It's a long one, but also the